Have you got a massive slice, that powerless fade, and when you do absolutely nut it out the middle, it goes 50 yards left? Yeah, you, my friend, have a club path problem. And for context, you don't have to look far at the rest of the videos of my channel to see that I've been massively struggling with my club path, slicing the ball and flipping my hands through contact. So today, I'm massively going to talk about how I'm working on correcting my club path, as because I'm also competing in long drive this year, I've got my next tournament at the 9th of June, you know, it becomes a big part of it. As you start to adjust your swing for long drive and look to hit up more on the ball, for every 1 degree you hit up, and usually I'm about 10 degree up, that means 1 degree left, which should explain why I'm like -9 on my club path. Yeah. So I'm just going to explain pretty much what I'm doing to adjust it. Yes, I'm not a golf coach, so this is not me giving you advice. This is just me showing you what I'm doing and how it could potentially help you. Let's do it. So the first thing that I'm doing is creating a bit of a track for where I want my club path to go when I'm hitting a ball. So all I do is get 4 tees. I literally put 2 tees above the ball and I put 2 tees below the ball, okay? And I just want them tees focusing on a track that goes outwards. Because clearly at the moment, the thing that I've struggled with is, for me, it's not actually the fact that I'm in a bad position here. I tend to just finish in a bad position. Because I'm so used to clearing hard to the left, my club then clears hard to the left. So I do this sort of movement, which clearly is wrong, and I need to be more out here. So for me, it just gives me an easy visual cue of where I need to be, what feeling I need to get, because I do think it's a big feel thing. I don't think it's a case of like you need to massively change so much with the swing, different positions, so on and so forth. I think you just need to get a feel of actually how it should be when you hit the ball. So let's say, you know, if I hit a really bad one, right, and I go back to my old swing, as you can see, there's no tees left, all right, because I've massively dragged over the top of them, and now they're all gone. But if I look to put the tees back, and I actually try and focus on hitting my new club path, I don't expect a perfect strike, because one, it's gonna be sort of new, but I'm just focusing on trying to go somewhere in the middle of that, and hopefully the tees shouldn't move. Now, as you get better, you'll be able to bring these tees tighter and tighter and tighter until you become perfectly efficient and your club path sorted. So that's one of the first things that I've started to implement. So the next thing I've been focusing on is where my right elbow is. Now, if you're left-handed, obviously be your left one, but for making sure that this right elbow stays under my left, okay? Now, with doing a lot of long drive, you get used to, because you want to get your hands so high, you get used to it coming away from your body, which then makes it trickier and trickier to bring it nice and tight. But when I'm playing on the course, ideally I need it to be as tight as possible to get that inside angle with the club to then feel like I push outwards and, you know, I finish my swing out here as opposed to here. You know, if I'm pulling left, this elbow has to be winging. So the next focus that I'm bringing into my swing is I'm purely, still got my track, but I'm just focusing on trying to keep the right elbow tighter as I rotate. Just like that. But the more I can get a feeling of this and this and this and letting my hips and body rotate, the better I will be. Check out that club path, 0.8. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. A lot better than the video I did a few weeks ago when I was talking about my flicking, where I was still like -4. So the next tip is just keep that right elbow under. Some of the other drills that I have used previously have been doing right-handed swings. Again, just trying to get that feeling through the ball. But as long as I keep it tight and let my body rotate, I tend to find my ball striking is more consistent and my club path's a lot better too. Now, the third thing that I've been doing is massively connected to the video I dropped a few weeks ago about me flipping my hands through contact. If you are flipping the club, it is very hard for it to be coming from the inside, okay? Then leading outwards. Where if I look to actually strengthen my grip and that left hand, so rather than being in this position, sort of casting and flipping through the ball, instead being sort of this position where I feel like my knuckles are facing down and the club is on a bit more of an angle, more lag, more speed, more on the inside, I'm already in a better position. So this has been really hard for me because genuinely I was in such a bad place with this flipping ability. And when you do long drive a lot, you're so used to just flying the hands through because your body's moving so quickly, it's just so hard to cast the club. But when I was slowing my swing down and using irons, I was having a really big problem. Shanking, like even just like chipping, just really, really struggling with it. So the massive transition that I've taken is just trying to feel like I'm constantly laying off the club face. And I actually look at it a bit like a forward drive in cricket, just trying to feel like I'm keeping the club face open as long as I can. But it's naturally coming a lot more on the inside. And as I said, my swing is improving countlessly. Now, how I've done this is I genuinely just think about it. I can't say there's a huge drill that I do to go, right, make sure this goes, but I've just slowed everything down. You know, I want to constantly work on speed because I'm a long driver. I want to get quicker and quicker because I know that's so important for the game and the competition. But slowing it down for now and just really focusing on getting a feeling like I do this has been a game changer for me. And sort of leads me into number 4, which is then high hands and feeling like I finish with a high finish. You know, as I talked about before, if I'm dragging and flipping and finishing here, it's always going to feel like I'm pulling it or it's flaring out massively to the right. Where if I get a feeling like I come with that nice strong left hand grip and then focus on taking my hands high and out, but also always keeping that club face below my hand, I know naturally my ball striking might not be amazing now because my timing's not perfect, but I know in the future I'm going to get far more consistent, not only with my irons, but accuracy with the big stick, which is obviously huge. All I'm thinking about as I look to move through the swing is just where the club is finishing. And look where the hams went, straight up, 0.8 club path. Again, so much better. And the only feeling I'm getting is that the club face is behind me, behind my hands, and I'm just leading straight up with that arm as high as I can be. Now, it's not perfect. It's something I still have to consciously think about, but the more the weeks go on, the more I practice it along with these other parts of my drill, I feel like it's just getting better and better and feeling way more natural. And the big thing for me is just, if I want to get down to scratch, it's consistency of not only ball striking, but making sure that the bad shots just aren't as bad. And that's the same in long drive. If my bad hits are still within that 50 yard grid, I'm going to be a lot more consistent and I'm going to be a lot better. So same again, just all I'm thinking about is that strong wrist through the ball and just finishing with them high hands. Boom, 2 in a row. Let's see what that one finishes. 0.4. Literally, bob on, good distance, not super quick with it yet. Like, I still feel like I'm swinging sort of 80%, but as it becomes more and more familiar, I'll try and ramp up the speed and I'm really instilling that new habit. So the final point is something that's very, very popular within golf, and I have to say it's probably the least important to me right now because I feel like I've already worked on it quite a bit, but it's something I have to constantly focus on, and that is my takeaway. You know, if you get your takeaway wrong, chances are the rest of the swing is going to be wrong, and none of the points that I've literally said previous to this will even matter that much. You know, all of the top golfers in the world have a club path or a takeaway of out to in. As we talked about previously, we always want to be slightly on the inside to get that club path moving out and getting much more control of the club face. But if we're massively coming in on our takeaway, we're only going to come over the top, that right elbow is going to flare, and we're massively going to drag it left like I was doing previously. So the other thing that I'm sort of keeping tabs on is just making sure that I keep my body and my club nice and long on the way out, and I feel like it goes straight back. You know, in previous years, I have been a bit of a victim to feeling like I come straight in, all right, into this position, and then if I do that, I naturally come massive on the inside, and I tend to come massively over the top, and that's where that big slice comes from, or that big pull. So the last and final thing that I'm mainly focusing on is just feeling like I take the club straight back, and then finish with them high hands, like I stated. Okay, so this is a big one that I've seen a lot of golf coaches help with. It's just one that I think you should always keep tabs on. And as I said, if you get this one wrong, the rest of the points I've just stated kind of don't mean that much. So last point, just keep tabs on your club, you know, your takeaway, and just make sure, if anything, it's slightly out or nice and neutral and long, so then you can bring it on the inside and drive out in that path that you want. Right, let's see if I can adapt all of these cues with my driver and see if I can speed it up a little. This is going to be the tough part. So I'm going to hit a few balls. I'm going to see if I can adjust it and hopefully get somewhat of a better club path. I am going to start quite slow because I really want to get it right and try and notch up the speed as we go. No, I felt like I was over the top that one. Yeah, -4. Shocking, mate. Come on. Again, out of the roof. Hey, we got a club path though. -0.1. Even though it's out of the roof, it's an improvement. Right, that was right out of the groove. Do you know what? I will take that. -0.9 is a lot better. Yeah, the club face was still a bit closed. Wasn't the quickest swing, but that's a lot better than -8. A lot better. Nah, I pulled the living shit out of that. What? See? 2.1 club path though. The issue is that. I mean, that is not a good drive, but for now, we're not worrying about the face. Right, big stick, long drive driver. Let's see what I can do. Hey! I love surprises. I love surprises. Spin rate was shocking. 1.1 on the path though, big improvement. Wasn't the best connection, but it's pretty straight. So much better than what I've been doing previously. So look, remember, I'm not a golf coach. This is just what I'm doing with my own personal journey with getting to scratch as well as competing at long drive. And I hope you found that useful. For me, I'm seeing massive improvements with those 5 things that I'm working on. They all sort of help each other, which is the best part of it. But hopefully in a few weeks, a few months, I'll be reaping all those rewards. And hopefully next week, if the weather is a lot better, you can see me out on the course. If you do want to see me on the course, make sure you destroy the fuck out of the like button and you subscribe, so then you will get notified whenever I post and you can see how this practice actually correlates to my performance on the course. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.